supposed to be played by a real monkey.
Like a Chip Yoda would have been the best.
Well, I don't think it was. I think it was supposed to be more like a capuchin type of monkey.
Huh. All right. Well, can you imagine having to train a monkey to use a lightsaber?
I can try, but okay then. Hi, it's happy hour somewhere, so welcome to Drinking Dusties.
This is where we pull the cork on old bottles of whiskey to taste what's been waiting inside for decades.
And also uncork the amazing stories that went into those bottles.
I'm Charles Cox. I've written about whiskey at Maxim, Men's Journal magazines. I edit the annual World's Best Whiskeys Guide.
And I'm Steve Russell. I like bourbon and old stuff and interesting factoids about the Star Wars universe. Like, get this.
Focus up, pal. Okay, all right. Have we managed to get our hands on another dusty bourbon hidden right here under the box of mystery?
We have, and it is.
All right. Well, real quick, before we start, let's recap what a dusty bourbon actually is. In a general sense, dusties are bottles that you can't easily find on liquor store shelves anymore. Why?
Because they were produced and distributed a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Stop it. No. Given how often brands and distilleries have changed hands ever since the time of Prohibition, sometimes we're talking about brands that just aren't made the same way any longer, or sometimes the brands no longer exist, claimed by changing tastes or the boom and bust cycle of the whiskey market.
Right. Seriously, we may all think there's a crazy number of brands on shelves now, but I really think there may have been even more like back in the day.
Huh. All right. And sometimes we're just talking about old bottles with actual dust on them.
Right.
The kind that used to sit lonely, unloved on liquor store shelves, before Dusty Hunters scoured the land like a swarm of liquor locusts.
Right. And in the process, turned Dusty hunting into a blood sport that drove prices through the roof. These days, you have to dig deeper or work harder to find a Dusty.
And that's why we're here, to share our Dusty finds with you guys. We're going to break the seals and taste rare bottles right here so we can all find out together if the long dormant juice has made the trip
or should have stayed on the bottom shelf at Billy Bob's Liquor Hut.
Wait, is that a real place?
I think it could be.
Oh, man. Yeah. That would be awesome. If it were, how do you think liquor would be spelled on the sign?
Likker.
that would be awesome.
For sure.
We should open that place ourselves. Yeah. All right. So on that note, let's get to the whiskey.
Yep.
Right after, we remind people why they should trust our opinion.
They should not, especially yours. Sometimes opinions are like bottles of Screwball, better kept hidden away under a clay pot in the tool shed.
I have a bottle of Screwball hidden at my house because my friend Judy gave it to me and I don't want to drink it. So that said, we've both been obsessed with bourbon for years and have tasted hundreds of them. So we're going to say some stuff.
Yeah, we're bourbon guys. Bourbon guys say stuff. We just don't think that our opinions are any more valid than yours.
Speaking of which, feel free to add your own opinions, comments, questions, and barbecue sauce recipes in the comments section.
Extra points for not being a nut.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Where were we?
We're going to unveil a Dusty, Charles, because that's our purpose in this video and upon this earth.
So do it. Do it now.
Just a sec. You know how earlier I was going on about how Dusties are often the orphans of defunct and nearly forgotten distilleries or brands that have bounced around between distilleries whenever an owner needed some cold, hard cash?
Yeah, that was like 30 seconds ago, but yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but you have a really short memory. Right, well, that doesn't really apply to the bottles sitting under the box of mystery today.
Okay.
This brand has been produced at the same distillery since 1866, or at least that's what it says on the bottle. And that distillery has had the same parent company even since 1956.
Whoa, okay. So it sounds like we're about to take a trip maybe a little south of Kentucky, maybe to Tennessee.
You got it. Say hello to Jack.
Hello. Oh, wow. That's got some heft to it.
Yeah,
wow.
This Jack is a big boy. 1.75 liters of Jack Daniel's Old Time No. 7 brand Tennessee Sour Mash Whiskey. When I was a kid, I had an empty bottle just like this I used to save spare change. It got so heavy that eventually the bottom fell right out when I picked it up.
So you were drinking this as a kid?
No, but somebody's parents entertained.
Okay, got it. What year was this one bottled?
Okay. This one has a glass molding that says it's 1979.
Wow. All right. Good. God bless glass molding. That's great. They actually give you the years sometimes.
Yeah, I wish all bottles had them. Even now, quite frankly, just make Dusty hunting a lot easier.
All right. So 1979. So this bottle has escaped the fate of millions and millions of other Jack Daniel's bottles over the last 46 years.
Yep. Right on, Matt Wiz. Let me set the scene. It's 1979, and this bottle is waiting patiently under a disco ball somewhere while everyone is doing the hustle and drinking Singapore slings and white Russians instead of bourbon.
I remember those days.
That's when its exile began, and then it just kind of wandered off into the wilderness.
All by itself?
Yeah, in my head, yeah.
So where did you get it?
Okay. This particular Jack was part of an assortment of old Dusties cleared out of a fancy Manhattan apartment before an estate sale.
Okay.
I wasn't originally even after this bottle, but when I spotted it sitting at a decent price, I just couldn't help bringing it in from the cold.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. It's weird, right? Sometimes these large format Dusties actually go for less money.
Yeah. My theory on that is that people associate a big honking bottle with lower quality, Even though it's obviously the same juice, they're willing to pay more for in a smaller bottle.
All right. Well, Jack Daniel's Dusties often go for, they're pretty affordable, right?
Yeah,
compared to others.
True. This isn't a bottle that collectors fight tooth and Bitcoin over.
Maybe that's because it just doesn't look that much different than the Jack Daniel's bottles that are on shelves today.
Yep.
I mean, the label's almost. Oh, okay.
True that. Boom.
Oh man.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You don't fix what isn't broken, right? It would be kind of dumb to do a fancy redesign of the most iconic bourbon label on the planet.
Is it really bourbon though? I mean, it doesn't say bourbon on either of the Jack Daniel's bottles.
Okay, let's just get through this real quick. All right. Tennessee law requires that anything labeled Tennessee whiskey must be filtered through charcoal. Mm-hmm. There are plenty of Kentucky bourbons that are also filtered through charcoal.
Ezra Brooks.
Right, exactly right. And we know that there are plenty of corn whiskeys made outside of Kentucky that do label themselves as bourbon. So the only reason that Jack Daniel's isn't labeled bourbon is because it has a bit of a chip on its shoulder and chooses not to be.
That is they get to make that choice for themselves. All right, fair enough. So two very similar Jack Daniel's bottles. They look very similar, but they're separated by 46 years. Yep. Should we perhaps sample them both?
Yep. I will point out an important difference between these two bottles, though.
Okay.
In 1987, Jack Daniel's lowered Old No. 7's proof to 80. So while this new bottle is 80 proof, our Dusty from 1979 is 90 proof.
Okay, so the question now is whether we'll notice a 5% difference in alcohol between these two bottles.
Let's get a glass.
All right.
And I'm opening this one up. Not the other one yet.
Not the old one. All right, give me some love.
Glug, glug, glug.
Glug, glug, glug.
You got an audible glug. An audible glug, man.
Yeah. All right, as usual, I'm going to use my Glencairn to focus the aromas in my nostrils.
And as usual, I think that's a bit hoity-toity. So I'm using Glen Campbell here.
All right. So this new bottle, we opened it just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
So just to let it breathe a little bit. So it's ready to check out now. I'm telling you, man, I'm definitely, there's a little bit of burn. There's some ethanol, but there's cinnamon. There's definitely a lot of brown sugar, caramel. I'm getting some circus peanuts.
You are not. You are not. Nobody gets circus peanuts.
It's like the banana Laffy Taffy.
Okay. All right. I'm getting some pretty strong notes of my 20s, with just a hint of my early 30s. All right, let's have a sip or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, there's nuttiness. All right. So I have to admit, I've said a lot of disparaging things about Jack Daniel's in my time. I was like, I don't drink it. It tastes like gasoline. This is much better than I remember.
Yeah.
I haven't had it in a while.
I haven't either.
There's a nuttiness that admittedly you also get in Jim Beam and something like a peanutty that some people disparage it with, but I like that. And, but I got to admit, I'm now interested to take a trip back in time.
Yeah. All right. So you're saying it's time to
drink
that Dusty. We'll put this one back. Okay. Let's put this bottle back. All right. Okay. So let's go.
Our brother of the limestone waters, we honor your sacrifice.
Oh my God. Here we go. Oh, there.
Oh, man.
It is done.
All right.
Always hurts a little bit. Hasn't gotten less painful since we started doing this.
All right. Let's, pour me some.
Okay.
Pour me some. I want to try this out. All right. So we're going to.
It's got a pour too.
Yeah. That's unusual. I wouldn't expect that from that. So we're going to let this breathe for a couple minutes. But how about we follow this aroma back to 1979? You mentioned that unfortunately disco was all the rage back then.
Yep. Bad Girls and YMCA were huge top 10 hits. But striking a blow for rock and roll, the biggest song of the year was the absolutely kick-ass My Sharona by The Knack.
That is kick-ass.
Oh, yeah, make my motor run. My motor run. Mad Max, Meatballs, and Moonraker were in theaters.
So only movies starting with letter M were big in 1979?
I absolutely adore alliteration. Sue me. Three's Company, That's Incredible, and Dukes of Hazzard were big on TV.
Just too good, oh boy.
And in world events, the 3 Mile Island nuclear plant in Pennsylvania nearly had itself a meltdown. Jimmy Carter was president.
Oh, Jimmy.
Margaret Thatcher was
Jimmy.
elected British Prime Minister. Skylab crashed back to Earth, and the first Sony Walkman went on sale.
It's like I'm actually there.
Yeah. I just wanted people out there to have some fun before you tell them what bourbon smells like again. But go right ahead.
All right. There's definitely a lot of ethanol to it, but you also get, it's more mellow than the newer one, I gotta admit. It's got that cinnamon note to it.
Yeah, a little bit mellower, a little bit mellower.
No, we're not going to taste it yet. I just want to remind people, we do sip our glasses neat before we add any ice or water just to get the real flavor, but you should drink your whiskey however you damn well feel like drinking it.
I just took a sip. Go ahead.
But okay. It didn't tell me to yet.
I know. All right, you're on. Go for it.
All right. So the nuttiness is it's more like a peanut butter now. That's screwball. It's back to the screwball.
That's just suggestion, power suggestion.
No, but there is peanut in there. And I know some people don't like that. I like that. It's actually, this is surprisingly good.
Okay, this is different though. I honestly, what I thought was, I was going to say they're the same. I mean, they're made. It's been. No. It's made at the same distillery, hasn't changed ownership, nothing's changed in all that time. I honestly thought it was going to be nothing's different.
I'm going to put some ice in there.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to taste the two again.
All right.
Okay, look at this. Color is a little bit more coppery on the old one than the new one. This is a little more yellow, and this is a little more red and coppery.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to taste again too. Yeah, I know I should be rinsing my palate before I do it.
No. Don't start getting precious on me now, Steve.
They're different.
They are different.
The old one has less of the kind of just straight ethanol flavor.
Which is weird because it's higher proof. So
right.
I expected it to be hotter.
I almost forgot about that for a minute.
The new one is hotter.
Yeah.
I think the new one's slightly harsher. I mean, obviously, this is a huge mass-produced product, right? That's not a craft whiskey.
Right. The new one is a little bit harsher.
So, but it's not bad. I do have to say, because I have said some disparaging things about Jack Daniels. It surprises me that it's good.
So here's what it does. It meets my threshold. The new one I'm talking about meets my threshold of being a sipping whiskey. I would still sip this. It's not good. It's not going to blow me out of the water. It's not, it's not pappy or something like that. Right. But I would still sit and sip this.
I would not go that far just because I have a lot of options that I love. But it's just because it's not quite for me in terms of its flavor profile. But I do give it more respect than I used to.
But this big boy,
the old one, I would sip this one.
Absolutely.
It's definitely more. Yeah, as I mentioned, it's more. If the first one's boiled peanuts, for those of you who grew up in Georgia like me, you know what I'm talking about with boiled peanuts. The first one, there's a big boiled peanut note to it. The new one, the current Jack Daniels. The older one, it's peanut butter. Yeah. It's more. There is the peanut butter. Sugar and peanut mixed together. It's more, and actually even less like peanut butter. It's like the peanut filling on a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah,
it's sweet. Sweet peanut.
I like it. So this brings us back again, right, to that question: despite all the nerd science, does it get a little bit better after 46 years in the bottle?
I have to think that, being in the bottle, I know all the scientists say once it goes in the glass, aging stops, right? But something is happening. It's mellowing out. The flavors, I
mean, this was sealed up tight, though. I mean, we can't say...
nothing's gotten into it, except I guess there's going to be a little bit of...
That's what I always wonder about. That's what I always wonder about. Same distillery, same spot, same ownership since 20 years before this bottle was even created. So
I gotta think
same water source. Same water source. They use the same water source.
Yeah, but water has definitely changed over time.
Water does change over time,
and a lot of I actually don't know this for Jack Daniels, but I know for a lot of Kentucky distillers, they've had to deal with the fact that they used to use well water, right, limestone water, and legally they're not allowed to anymore because a lot of that well water is just contaminated or otherwise just can't be tested the same way that city supplied water. So they have to use city supply water.
Beyond that possible water variable, we're really talking about what happened to this in the bottle, possibly.
Yeah.
So,
but I think also grains were slightly different back then. So what went into the bottle?
Right, they're sourcing grains differently.
Yeah,
we don't know if they're using the same grain.
And keep in mind, they pride themselves talking about their charcoal filtering. Right. The charcoal itself will be different because the wood that's used to make it.
I mean, corn has changed a lot over those years. Yeah. Corn has changed a lot. Like the corn that I grew when I was a kid and sold at the farmer's market is, I was all proud of and everything.
Did they not have child labor laws?
Not on the farm, baby. I was making bank, man. I was making bank. I could make $100 a day.
So those were Confederate dollars. So it's not worth as much.
but they would. The corn is definitely that corn I grew then. I can't find at a farmer's market now. So corn has changed, unless somehow Jack Daniels kept their farmers making the same corn, which I kind of doubt. So
no, they wouldn't be able to. They make so much whiskey. They got to just buy what the supply is, right? But back in the day when you were a smaller operation, you bought your supply from your local farmers.
Right.
Now they're buying on the market.
We remember that even in '56, Jack Daniels was pretty damn big operator.
Yeah, they were huge. Huge. All right, so I have to ask, how much do you pay for this?
It was like 125, close to 150 all in on this,
including shipping. And
that was all in on this one. Yeah.
Wow. All right, that's a good price for.
That's why I did it. Right. That's why it's
huge. You get bonus whiskey.
Right. It's more than double of a regular size bottle, and I was like, I'm not going to pass that up.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm not going to delve into every little corner of Jack Daniel's long and storied history. I am going to use this absolutely iconic label to hit some highlights.
All right, let's do this.
All right, let's start with the name right up top. Jasper Newton Jack Daniel was born sometime between 1846 and 1850, the youngest of 10 children, in Lynchburg, Tennessee. Go Vols.
Or Go Dogs.
After both his parents died, he was taken in by a neighbor who was both a preacher and a moonshiner.
That's a good combo.
Young Jack picked up the trade from that man's enslaved distiller, Nathan Nearest Green, who was known to filter his whiskey through maple sugar charcoal.
We have that.
Yep.
We have all of that. So Nearest Green.
Put it right here.
I'm going to talk a little bit about it. So Nearest Green he taught Jack Daniels how to distill. He was a slave who knew how to make whiskey. And so Jack Daniels has admitted he was their first master distiller. But Fawn Weaver, a writer, and discovered all this. She was going to write a book about him.
Just a few years ago.
Yeah, just a few years ago. She ended up making a whiskey based on his legacy to teach people about him, and it's really good.
Yeah, really that's what shocked everybody.
I know, everybody's like, "That's a great story.
Yeah.
We love the story." But
all right,
maybe
cool stuff.
All right.
Skipping down to the very bottom of the label, it says established and registered in 1866. He may have been selling whiskey then, but according to official records, it was not a registered business till 1875. But hey, who's counting?
Right.
Jumping back up the label, there's the famous Old No. 7 brand.
So why number 7?
That's also a little bit fuzzy.
Okay.
Maybe it was in recognition of a valued merchant who had opened 7 stores in a nearby county. More likely, it was because 7 was the original registration number for the distillery.
Oh, so like DSP numbers.
Yeah, very similarly. At districts and numbers, it did change.
Got it.
Finally, the only key difference on label wording between the two bottles is the 79 bottle says Lem Motlow, proprietor.
This does not say that.
Yeah. Right. Well, Jack never had any children, so he passed the distillery to his nephew, Lem, not long before he died of blood poisoning in 1911.
Ouch.
Yeah. Motlow was in charge until his own death in 1947.
Okay.
Apparently, he was considered important enough to the brand to keep his name on the label at least through the 1970s.
Oh, wow.
But was subsequently dropped and isn't on our new bottle.
Right. It's not on there.
Yeah.
All right. So I will give the label serious props. It's a stark black and white. It's a really cool look.
Yeah, that's the vibe. Jack Daniels has long been loved by rock stars. You can find like 100 photos of Keith Richards sucking on a bottle. But Frank Sinatra was also a big fan.
Old blue eyes.
Yep.
Gotta love him.
As a matter of fact, Sinatra was buried with a bottle of Jack Daniels tucked into the coffin with him in 1998.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, right. Seriously.
So there's been a bottle of Jack Daniels that's been buried with Frank Sinatra for 27 years?
Yes.
So, I mean, forget Linnell's Red Hook Rye or A.H. Hirsch. That would be the ultimate Dusty. We got to go get that.
Nope. Let's just stick with this Dusty J Day. Let's not put that thought out there.
All right. That's enough for it to try. That's for sure. There's plenty to try here.
Which is why we're going to send some out to our supporters out there.
Okay.
That's right. We like to share a pour from these one-of-a-kind old whiskeys with our Dusty boosters.
Okay.
So we'll be picking a name at random from our list of Patreon supporters and sending that person a little sample bottle.
That's right. So be sure to support us on Patreon, and don't forget to click the button to subscribe to our channel to help us out. It don't cost nothing. And follow us on Instagram or Facebook for more great and ironically new yet dusty content.
And don't worry, the box of mystery has a lot more to share. Until then, keep it
dusty.
dusty. Cheers.
Skull.
Yeah. Go Vols.
Mm-hmm. No, go Dogs. Go Dogs.
Right.
Which has nothing to do with
Well,
it.
I'll tell you what, man. I'm happy I paid $150 for that bottle now. Because you know what? I'm going to go through this process again.
You have to drink all of this.
I have to drink all that too.
But you know what? Not.
Right.
I got to take back.
Oh, I'll be right back. Keep talking.
That's the way to do it.
I mean, it's Jack, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm trading. Going to put the new one back up. I got to put more ice in there.
So I have actually been to the distillery.
Yeah.
It is actually an awesome. It's kind of like Disney World for
adults. I can't believe I haven't
great
been.
place to
I'm
visit.
from Tennessee and I've never been.
Well, we'll have a road trip. But I was judge of the Jack Daniels barbecue invitation.
That's pretty cool. I remember when you did that.
Tennessee,
yeah, I remember when you did that.
I actually have the certificate at
this up
home
here.
that I'm a totally unworthy KCBS certified barbecue judge.
Yeah. Kansas City doesn't make really good barbecue anyway. But you want some?
Yeah.
You gonna do it?
Yeah, I got to do this the right way.
I thought you were going to call me a total.
There you go.
I thought you were going to call me a total Philistine.
I am wearing a Screaming Trees shirt. There are many concerts that they couldn't finish because they've had too much Jack Daniels.
Good for them. But yeah,
all right,
and like we're tying it in too. We're talking SEC football, and this is like reminds me of like my SEC football weekends having a Jack and Coke.
So, but you couldn't have Jack and Coke at the game.
No. You can have beer now at Neyland Stadium. Mm-hmm. They started a few years ago selling beer. I guess obviously they need even more money than they already make.
I was just thinking about when we used to work together in New York at Maxim back in the day. We go to Yankees games together, and you would smuggle. You were such a damn cheapskate. You would smuggle in hot dogs. Yeah. But this was new level. Like we could only sit in the bleachers because those were the cheapest seats.
Yeah. No, I had to stand in line just to get those. Those were Yankees Red Sox games. I had to stand in line just to get those. I was buying
for those games.
I was buying 6 or 8 tickets at a time.
But the point is, you would smuggle in hot dogs.
Yeah.
where you'd cook them in advance
Yep.
at home and you'd wrap them in foil,
Yep.
put them in your pocket, but right in your crotch to keep them warm.
God bless cargo pants.
Yeah, you'd have the buns
Yeah.
in foil in one pocket
Yeah.
and the hot dogs in the other.
It was
but then I would do the thing where you'd take like an orange and you'd inject vodka into it,
right.
and then go to and claim you were diabetic when you went to the game. Like, oh, I have to have this orange in case I, have a diabetic episode.
My cargo shorts full of hot dogs was my 7th inning reach. You just go in the shorts, come out
I have to admit, you saved me money, and they were still quite warm.
like even then, those hot dogs cost like $10 at the park. Even then,
God.
I'm not going to
now
pay
they're
that.
like $20.
Yeah, so I put 6 hot dogs, wrapped them in foil.
Yankee Stadium.
You ate them.
Yankees suck. Go Red Sox.
You ate those hot dogs.
I did right out of your crotch.
I forget when I would take you to those games. Did you sit there next to me after I took you to a game and cheer for the Red Sox right next to me?
I not only would I cheer for the Ed Sox, I would wear a Red Sox jersey.
I can't believe I took you. I can't believe I took you to those games.
I'm
I took you like
huge dude with a beard.
I took you to
This
is the Bronx. Somebody will
you're
mess with
right.
you.
No, I did get threatened by a dude with a baseball bat outside a game one night. Like, 'cause we